Joe Johnson, a pro-Remain minister, has resigned from his post over Brexit. His brother, the pro-Leave Boris Johnson, resigned in the summer to fight for a Brexit that would lead to as little alignment to the EU as possible. But Joe, a former Transport and Science Minister, is open to stopping Brexit altogether via a referendum.
The deal that's being finalised at the moment in Brussels and across Whitehall is so radically different to what was proposed in the referendum campaign that I think it's really important the public is given a chance to confirm that this is indeed the extraordinary basis on which they want to leave the European Union.
Where the two brothers agree, however, is that the deal being pursued by the government is a bad one. And the pro-Remain Johnson has issued a critique that's actually been endorsed by a lot of Brexiters who want a harder break, including his brother.
Our ability to strike meaningful trade deals is going to be greatly reduced. It's not going to lead to us becoming a Singaporean turbocharged economy on the edge of Europe. Far from it. We're going to be signing up to all of the rules and regulations over which we will no longer have a say. At present, the deal is incoherent on its own terms.
The significance of the resignation, however, is about pressure. We've had Brexiter resignations like David Davis, Steve Baker and Boris Johnson. Remainers who've resigned over Brexit have been lower profile. Guto Bebb, Dr Philip Lee and now Joe Johnson. But are Tory Remainers about to up the pressure? Joe Johnson has said that he would vote against the proposed deal, and other pro-Remain Tories may follow him. A vote for no deal to provoke a crisis and a change in national direction. This may put them in the bizarre position of voting alongside Tory MPs like Jacob Rees-Mogg, who are in favour of a harder Brexit than the government plans. Number 10 says nothing has changed. There will be no referendum. But Theresa May's route to passing a deal through the Commons is currently hard to make out.
Chris Cook there. Well, we're joined now by the former Attorney General, Conservative MP Dominic Grieve, who is, of course, a prominent Remainer. Welcome. Look, I mean, it's a cliche, but is this too little too late for people of your mindset? You're not really going to stop anything at this point, are you?
I don't think it's too little too late at all. It always seemed to me that what was going to happen is that as we got close to the crunch, it would become clear that, in fact, our ability to get the sort of advantageous deal that people were talking about 2 years ago was just a pipe dream. And that actually, where we're heading is towards a disadvantageous outcome, which leaves us substantially worse off than if we were in the EU itself. And as I think Joe Johnson so rightly said, this idea of the transformation of the United Kingdom into some sort of turbocharged Singapore of the North East Atlantic is a complete pipe dream that is not supported by anything more than a sliver of the electorate.
Does it worry you, though, that some people on the hard Brexit side of the party are welcoming this, almost as if sort of bring on the chaos, bring down the Chequers blueprint, and let's have a no-deal situation might be their preferred outcome, and you're playing into their hands implicitly?
I certainly don't want chaos, and I'm keen that we should get through this process to a better future. But the difficulty we have is that if we sign up to the deal which the Prime Minister is likely to bring to Parliament, then we guarantee that the country leaves the EU on the 29th of March with a very poor deal, which takes us into a place where I think in 2 years' time there won't be hardly a member of the electorate will approve of what we've done. So how can I try to prevent that from happening? Well, the only way in which we can prevent that from happening is by Parliament asserting its authority, and I would like to think persuading the Prime Minister that there has to be another route.
And doing that has to happen pretty soon, doesn't it? If some of these timelines that we've heard are right, that she does want to talk about the possible solution next week, and that really, for there to be a meeting of European leaders in December, Parliament has to have its vote pretty soon.
The timelines are certainly very short, but it's worth bearing in mind that I think if the United Kingdom Parliament collectively decided it wanted some different outcome, and, for example, wanted a people's vote to consult people on whether they wanted this deal, I'm quite sure the EU would give us the time to do that, because the EU is an organisation that is heavily bound by law. It is a legal construct, and if we say it's part of our constitutional requirement that we go back and consult the electorate, they will let us do that.
But you're comfortable that at that point, in what I mean, it would be an enormous parliamentary moment, wouldn't it? You would be siding with Labour MPs, SNP. I mean, you'd be siding with a lot of people who you wouldn't normally be, and members of your own party would be accusing you of betraying the Brexit voters.
this is a matter where I'd like to hope that we can take the Prime Minister with us. She's tried very hard to get a good deal for the country. I don't criticise her. I'm afraid that what I see is...
She's not going to come with you on that, though. She's made it really clear.
I have no idea whether she will or she will not.
It's
but
bluster,
my preference would be that she does, if she realises that, in fact, the deal is unacceptable to Parliament. Clearly, if she doesn't, that makes life more complicated for a variety of reasons. But I have to say, this is a matter where, quite frankly, country comes before party allegiance. This is without doubt the single most important decision we're going to make in our modern history, and we are heading probably for the biggest peacetime crisis that we've ever had in modern history as well. And we've got to get the right outcome, and party allegiance has to be secondary in those circumstances.
And if this is going to happen pretty quickly, as you seem to agree, what's the tipping point? Who steps forward to bring together these MPs of different persuasions, different parties, to unite around a demand for a second referendum?
Firstly, we obviously have to see what deal, if any, the Prime Minister is able to bring back. I mean, she may not be able to bring any deal back at all that she herself can accept. If the deal is unacceptable, then Parliament will express its opinion on that. Once Parliament has expressed its opinion on that, then I would hope that the government, having realised that Parliament disapproves of the deal, will then listen to what Parliament has to say collectively about alternative routes.